Welcome to the Reputation Matters podcast. We're here to help you protect and enhance your online reputation. Tune in for tips, tricks, and expert advice. Ready to take control of your online presence? Visit yourrepmatters.com to learn more.
All right, so picture this. You're about to open a restaurant. You put your heart and soul into this place. The menu is incredible. The decor is perfect. And then bam, a single negative review pops up online. Some complaint about, slow service. Seems pretty harmless, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
Well, this deep dive we're doing might just change your mind. We're looking at the silent killer of leads, negative online reviews, a blog post that really gets into how these seemingly small comments can actually make a huge impact on businesses.
Yeah, it's true. It's amazing to me how much weight we give to negative reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. 92% of consumers actually read online reviews before they buy something.
Really?
That's almost everybody. And even one single bad review can just completely overshadow, a ton of positive ones.
It's like that one bad apple spoiling the whole bunch.
Right.
But why are we so quick to focus on the negative?
Well, I think part of it is about trust, Like negative reviews, they kind of tap into our, I guess you could say, natural skepticism. We're kind of wired to pay more attention to threats and potential dangers.
Right.
And a negative review triggers that warning system in our brains.
Oh, so it's like our inner caveman is still on high alert, even when we're just trying to decide where to order takeout.
Exactly.
Wow.
Plus, I think negative reviews often create a more vivid and memorable impression than positive ones, Like they stick with us. We tend to remember those bad experiences more than the good ones.
Yeah.
Like you probably remember that one time you got food poisoning from a restaurant more than the, the 10 times you had a perfectly fine meal there.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's hard to shake off that feeling of, what if it happens to me? But beyond just shaking our trust, negative reviews can also paint a picture of, poor customer service.
Oh, absolutely. A negative review can be a sign that a business doesn't care about its customers.
Right.
And that can be a big, red flag for potential buyers. Think about, would you really be excited to shop at a store where everyone complains about rude staff? Probably not.
Not a chance. So we've established that these negative reviews have this powerful psychological effect on us as consumers. But how does this translate to actual harm for these businesses?
Well, the blog post we looked at actually points out a pretty scary statistic.
Okay.
68% of people would avoid a business altogether if they see a negative online reputation.
Wow, 68%. That's way more than I would have guessed. That really just highlights how damaging a negative online presence can be.
It really is. And it's not just the immediate impact either. You
Yeah.
got to think about the ripple effect. Like, let's say someone posts a bad review on Yelp, right?
Okay.
And then they share it on their Facebook, their friends see it, and then some of them share it too. And suddenly that one negative experience has reached, hundreds, even thousands of people.
Oh, wow. It's like wildfire spreading through the internet at lightning speed.
Right.
And it's not limited to just review sites either, is it?
Not at all. Social media has become such a powerful amplifier for negative reviews. A customer can, broadcast their complaint to a massive audience with just a few clicks. And once that information's out there, it's so difficult to, control.
So we're talking about a silent killer, lurking in the digital shadows, potentially wiping out a significant chunk of a business's customer base without them even realizing what hit them.
Exactly.
That's pretty scary stuff. But I'm guessing there are ways to fight back, right?
Absolutely. And that's what we'll get into next. It's not about, erasing every negative review because that's, impossible. It's about understanding the psychology behind them and using that knowledge to strategically manage your online presence.
Okay, yeah. So how do we do that?
Well, first, it really is. It's like, a game of chess almost.
Yeah.
You have to kind of anticipate your opponent's moves. In this case, understanding how those negative reviews can impact your business and having a strategy in place to address them.
So what's the opening move in this, game of online reputation chess? What can businesses do to prevent these negative reviews from becoming a checkmate?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be proactive.
Okay.
Don't wait for negative reviews to pop up before you start taking action.
Right.
Instead, focus on building a strong foundation of positive reviews. Really encourage your happy customers to share their experiences online.
Okay, that makes sense, right? It's like building up a positive shield to deflect some of the negativity.
Exactly.
But how do you actually get those happy customers to leave reviews?
Well, I think sometimes, all it takes is a gentle nudge.
Okay.
After a purchase or a service interaction, send a follow-up email, right?
Yeah.
Thanking the customer and include links to your review profiles, on Google, Yelp, or whatever platforms are relevant to your business.
So it's about removing any barriers and making the process as seamless as possible for them.
Exactly.
But let's be realistic. Even with the best efforts, some negative reviews are bound to slip through, right?
Oh, for sure.
What then?
Damage control mode.
Okay.
And the first rule of damage control: respond.
Respond to the negative reviews. But isn't that just giving them more attention?
Not necessarily. You got to think about it from the customer's perspective.
Okay.
They've had a negative experience, they're frustrated, and they want to be heard.
Right.
Ignoring them will only make them feel more ignored and, probably more likely to spread that negativity even further.
So it's about acknowledging their concerns, showing them that you're listening and that you care about their experience.
Exactly. And even if you can't, solve the problem immediately, a prompt and professional response can go a long way in diffusing the situation.
Okay.
Apologize for the inconvenience, thank them for their feedback, and let them know that you're looking into the issue.
It's like putting out a fire before it spreads and burns down the whole forest.
Right.
And sometimes you can even turn that negative review into a positive one, right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the blog post mentioned a case where a customer left a really, really harsh review, like a scathing review about a faulty product.
Oh, no.
The business owner immediately reached out, apologized, and offered a full refund. And get this, the customer was so impressed with their responsiveness that they updated their review praising the company for their, exceptional customer service.
Wow, that's a great example of how, like, turning a negative into a positive can not only win back a customer, but also showcase your commitment to customer satisfaction to anyone else reading those reviews.
Exactly. It's all about demonstrating that you're a responsible and, responsive business. People are more forgiving if they see that you're actively trying to make things right. But remember, responding to negative reviews is just one part of the equation.
Okay, so what's the other part?
Monitoring. You need to be super vigilant about, monitoring your online reputation across, all these different platforms. Think of it as like a routine checkup, right, for your business's, online health.
So like setting up Google Alerts for your business name,
Okay.
checking review sites regularly, and keeping an eye on, like, social media mentions.
Exactly. And there are, tools and software out there that can help you automate this process, right? And track your online reputation in real time. The key is to catch that negative feedback early on before it has a chance to fester and spread.
It's like weeding a garden. If you catch those weeds early, that they're easy to pull out.
Right.
But if you let them grow, they can just take over and choke out all your beautiful flowers.
That's a great analogy. And just like tending to a garden, managing your online reputation requires this ongoing effort and attention. You can't just plant those seeds and hope for the best. You need to nurture them, protect them, and adapt to the ever-changing online landscape.
Okay, so this is all great advice, but let's get down to brass tacks here.
Okay.
What are some specific, actions that businesses can take to address those negative reviews?
Well, I think, the first step is to really just assess the situation. Like, read the review carefully and try to understand the customer's perspective.
Right.
What are their specific complaints? Are they legitimate concerns, or are they simply, venting their frustration?
So taking a deep breath and not reacting emotionally, even if the review feels unfair or personal.
Exactly. Remember, you're not trying to, win an argument.
Right.
You're trying to resolve a problem and protect your reputation.
Okay, so we've assessed the situation. Now what?
Well, next, you craft a response that is professional, empathetic, and addresses the specific concerns that were raised in the review. Don't be defensive or dismissive. Acknowledge their feedback, apologize for any inconvenience, and offer a solution if possible.
So something like, we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. We're so sorry to hear about your experience, and we're looking into this issue right away. In the meantime, please feel free to contact us directly so we can, make things right.
Perfect. That's a great example of a professional and solution-oriented response.
Okay, cool. So we've responded to the review. What's next?
Follow through.
Okay.
Follow through on your promises. If you've offered to, look into the issue or provide a resolution, make sure you do it promptly and efficiently. And don't be afraid to go, above and beyond to turn that negative experience into a positive one.
So offering a refund, a replacement product, a discount on their next purchase, or even just like a sincere apology can go a long way in winning back a disgruntled customer.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes a little gesture of goodwill can have a huge impact on a customer's perception of your business. And who knows, they might even update their review or tell their friends about their, positive experience.
It's all about turning that frown upside down.
Right.
But what about those reviews that are just plain nasty?
Yeah.
The ones that are clearly written with the intent to harm your business.
Those can be tricky, but I think it's still important to respond, maintain your professionalism, address any, factual inaccuracies, and offer to take the conversation offline to resolve the issue. Sometimes simply acknowledging the review and offering a neutral response can be enough to kind of diffuse the situation.
So don't get dragged into an online mudslinging contest.
Right.
Take the high road and let your professionalism speak for itself.
Exactly. And remember, even if you can't please everyone, your response to those negative reviews is an opportunity to, showcase your business's values and commitment to customer satisfaction to a wider audience.
So even those negative reviews can be like a valuable learning experience, helping you identify areas for improvement and build a stronger, more resilient business.
Absolutely. Every piece of feedback, whether it's positive or negative, is an opportunity for, for growth.
Right.
And by embracing that feedback and using it to, refine your products, your services, your customer interactions, you can turn those, those online critics into valuable allies in your business's success.
That's a powerful message. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, any final tips for navigating, the sometimes treacherous waters of online reviews?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are professionals out there who specialize in online reputation management, where they can help you develop a strategy, monitor your online presence, and respond to those negative reviews, effectively.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure about how to handle a particular situation, don't hesitate to seek out some expert guidance.
Exactly. Just like you might, hire an accountant to manage your finances or a lawyer to handle legal matters. Online reputation management is a specialized field. It requires expertise and experience. And by investing in professional help, you can ensure that your business's online presence is in good hands.
But what about us, like the everyday consumer? How can we use this knowledge to navigate, this whole world of online reviews and make those informed decisions?
Well, that's a great question. As consumers, I think it's really important for us to remember that not all reviews are created equal. We need to develop our own critical thinking skills when we're evaluating online reviews.
So don't just blindly trust the first 5-star or 1-star review you see.
Exactly, yeah.
Dig a little deeper.
Right. Look for patterns in the reviews. Are there, multiple people complaining about the same issue?
Oh, yeah.
That could be a red flag, right? On the other hand, if you see like a single negative review surrounded by a bunch of positive ones, it might just be an isolated incident and not, representative of the overall experience.
It's also important to consider the source of the review.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Is it from a verified customer who actually purchased the product or service? Or is it from someone who might have an ulterior motive?
Right. And a lot of platforms now have, verification systems in place to ensure that those reviews are coming from, legitimate customers. So look for those verification badges and, take anonymous reviews with a grain of salt.
And don't forget to read between the lines, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the tone and language of a review can tell you just as much as the content itself.
Right.
Is the reviewer, being constructive and providing that specific feedback, or are they just, ranting and raving?
I think that's a great point. Look for reviews that are balanced, that provide both positive and negative points. Those are often the most helpful and informative.
So it's about using our own judgment and discernment to really separate the wheat from the chaff in, this often overwhelming world of online reviews. But what about those situations where, we've had a negative experience ourselves?
Yeah.
Should we always leave a negative review?
Not necessarily. I think, before you unleash your inner keyboard warrior, consider whether, a direct and private message to the business might be a more effective way to resolve the issue. A lot of businesses are eager to make things right and avoid negative publicity.
So give them a chance to address the situation before broadcasting it to the world.
Exactly. And remember, the goal of a review should be to provide helpful feedback, not to punish or shame a business. And if you do decide to leave a negative review, make sure it's, constructive, factual, and focuses on specific issues rather than, personal attacks.
So it's all about using our power as consumers responsibly and thoughtfully. But what's the ultimate takeaway from all of this?
Well, I think online reviews are kind of a double-edged sword.
Okay.
They can be, incredibly powerful tools for both consumers and businesses, but, only if they're used wisely and ethically.
So for businesses, it's about recognizing that online reputation is an invaluable asset that needs to be carefully cultivated and protected.
Exactly. And for consumers, it's about, developing those critical thinking skills, reading reviews with a discerning eye, and using our voices responsibly to provide valuable feedback and make those informed decisions.
So the next time you're about to, hit that post button on a review, take a moment to really reflect on the impact that your words might have. Are you providing constructive feedback, or are you simply venting? Are you being fair and objective? Or are you letting your emotions get the best of you?
Because in the end, it's all about creating a more positive, trustworthy and informative online environment for everyone.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of online reviews. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and you're ready to navigate this digital landscape with confidence and a critical eye. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in. Check back next week for our latest episode or visit our website, yourrepmatters.com, to take control of your online reputation. After all, reputation matters.